Hey everybody, this is Sin Speaks, and today we're doing another interview. And I am here with my girlfriend, Wendy. And today we have as our special guest, Jazzteeth.
Hi everyone, Jazz here.
And for y'all who don't know, Jazzteeth is a member of the AiE community, a non-equestria community, which is a subpar thing of the actual show My Little Pony. He is one of the writers.
Subdivision, not subpar. Subpar is like under something. Not like, it's not.
Oh, no. You got it right the first time. We are plenty subpar.
So, how long have you been a writer?
Oh, geez, let me see here. The Paceman said I started this 3 years ago, so...
Jeez.
March 31st, 2012.
Jesus Christ, man.
If you want to put a specific date on it. I know, that's my reaction too, like, oh god, no.
How long have you been in the MLP community?
Oh boy. If you're asking when I first got into the show, I want to say it was somewhere on the tail end of season 1. I can't give an exact date, but I can say the first episode I watched was the episode where Twilight discovers the pinky sense. I thought, hey, this is like Looney Tunes. I can dig this. And it all sort of spiraled out of control from there.
Quick suggestion, if you ever actually want me to watch that, suggest that it actually, is like Looney Tunes, and then I will watch it. I freaking love Looney Tunes.
Oh, hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Wendy has a reason to watch it. So, how long have you been in the AiE community?
Well, let's see. The first Paceman says March 31st, 2012, but I can say that this sticks out very clearly for me, that I started reading beforehand. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend of that year. And I can say that because I remember I was in San Antonio at the time, with some friends, and we were walking the Riverwalk all day long, came back to the hotel, tired as heck, and I was on my cell phone browsing the MLP board, and I saw the AiE thread. And instead of spending the evening, getting totally drunk and watching bad movies on HBO, I pretty much just whittled away the hours reading all the stupid green text I found there. And from then I thought, hey, I could do this. Which is pretty much the genesis of the entire thing.
And from that, you made the story of EOU, End of the Universe.
Yes. And the beginning of that is definitely something that spiraled completely out of control.
That was so sad, dude. I just reread that, yesterday, and damn.
I can honestly say, when I first started the story, I had zero idea of where it would end up, because for about the first three or so posts of that story was me being extremely dumb and wanting to make a King of the Hill joke. And somewhere along the 45% mark of the first chapter, I thought, wait a second, I can do something with this. Yeah.
Tell us the basic idea of EOU for those who want to read it.
Okay. The basic idea behind EOU is that there is one human in the equestrian universe, and since he is a foreign entity, he doesn't exactly line up with the laws of physics there, and as such, he is effectively immortal. He cannot die, and he cannot be hurt by anything there. And where the story starts, it begins long after entropy has totally just knocked the lights out. There's no stars left, there's no actual heat left, all that's left is Anon and Celestia. And from that upbeat setting is where the rest of the story goes. And with such minimalist start point, things get kind of wild.
Yeah. And for those of you who want to read it still, but don't want any spoilers, I'll leave a marking so you can get to the next part. So after he's in the deep cold of space and darkness and death and destruction and stuff, why does Celestia stay alive?
Why does she survive?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I sort of took it for granted that Celestia is not, a normal alicorn, as far as normal could be applied to them. She's the closest thing to God in the setting. She's a direct line to the underlying mechanics of, physics and thermodynamics, what have you. And she's pretty much the only thing holding
the world together?
Reality together, yes.
And
I never quite explained it, but I just thought, if anyone is going to survive until the very, very end, it's going to be Celestia, so.
Yeah. And then, after, as I said before, the deep, cold, dark death of space, they get together. Which was kind of strange when I thought about it, but it's also kind of normal. Because if you're the only beings left in all of reality and existence, you would kind of get together, no matter how much you hate each other.
I disagree there. If there is somebody that I absolutely, completely frickin' hate left in the universe, and me, I will probably end up murdering him. Or her.
Well, think about it this way.
Or it.
You can't murder them, and you sleep for millions of years at a time, and you don't even notice time passing.
I will murder them next time. I will not stay with somebody I hate.
That is one thing I would like to touch on. Like I said, that chapter was written well over 3 years ago. There are things I would do, looking back at it now, that I would do differently. Take a little more time with, one of those being the relationship between Anon and Celestia.
Well, you have a
not much,
lot
but it would
of space to work with right there.
Oh. Yeah, there's just a huge time void that, these characters can go anywhere. Still need to address that.
So for, every now and then they would have a millennia, pass by, and they just won't even, notice it or anything. They're just, passing reference to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one line in there that says, you blinked, but you took, 100 years to do it, or something to that effect.
She blinked 3 times, so there were millions of years between each of those.
Yeah. And lines like that, they're fun, but you don't want to go overboard with it. Otherwise you think, okay, we get the point. It's a lot of time is passing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I like a lot of those parts, though, because they were just hilarious. He was trying to get his bodily functions to work again after so long of unuse.
It's like, wait a second, is my liver working? I think it is.
And then
it must be.
Later in the story, again, spoilers for those who want to read it. He gets Celestia. I don't know. I'll let you explain the thing, because I don't want to go overboard on explanations.
Oh yeah, that's the fun thing. Pretty much everything after chapter 3 is just pure spoilers.
Yeah, it's just well, damn.
Oh wow.
So, can you explain the rest of the story without managing to punch it in people's faces?
Sure. You want an entire summary, or
give a basic summary so people know. Something other than them being trapped in deep space for all time.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, anyhow, eventually, Anon and Celestia think, oh, well, we're the only two people left. so let's just appreciate what we got. And so they end up not hating each other. And then they end up doing the deed, as such things are wont to happen. And through the power of friendship being magic, Celestia ends up pregnant.
Which
Against
takes
all odds.
which takes millions of years.
I know, right? Which once again takes millions of years, as everything else does in this story.
Yeah, what's that? Blinking takes a million years? Well, let's make pregnancy last a million years, because she's an alicorn screw all you guys. Or she's insane.
Even worse.
She kind of goes insane at one point.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh no, they were plenty insane by the story's start.
Very true, actually. Well, after being stuck in the deep cold of space for God knows how long, and having nothing to entertain yourself with, that'd just be sad.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so she gets pregnant, and then she gives birth to a little baby girl. And in doing so, she sacrifices her physical form and becomes a star.
The most massive star that has ever or will ever be.
Yes. Because, once again, it's Celestia something, and okay, yeah, let's just do it. Let's make her the biggest freaking star ever. And that's something, I'll get to that later. Anyhow, so from then, Celestia is a star, okay, and the rest of the universe is falling back into place since gravity is now a thing again. Now heat is now a thing again. And so Nana's thinking, okay, I'm going to raise this kid right and make sure that entropy doesn't happen again, so that no one will have to live in the dark for a stupid long amount of time ever again. And the rest of the story springboards from there. He raises his daughter, her name is Astra, and they find a little Draconicus hanging out in a field of meteors. Her name is Eris, and he adopts her, and he raises the two sisters, and they sort of go through Equestria 2.0, with just a few differences, but, it's familiar enough. But the story still firmly remains on Anon and those two, despite how long the timeline extends.
And the timeline extends eons, I believe it was.
Yes, well, I suppose by nature, by the final... let me see. By the final 3 or 4 chapters, the timeline compresses itself just because of what's going on now that they're planet-bound and not, hanging out in space.
Loadings.
Yeah. And after you spend enough time in space and you go there, you kind of have to relearn how to exist.
Yeah, I think I touched on that. That was what chapters 5 and 6 were about, where they readjust to living on the world as organic life forms, and they get used to living on a day-to-day basis.
Getting hungry 3-4 times a day, sleeping.
8 to 12 hour bursts, yes.
I had something I was going to say, but I've completely forgotten it now.
The way you forget things is, get off my bed. Off. Sorry. The way you forget things will probably end up turning into a medical issue. And in that case, I'm not taking care of you.
Oh no, I already have enough medical issues. I don't need nothing. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to say. Entropy. What exactly is that? For those who don't know.
To be honest, I don't really know. No, I really need to put a disclaimer up on the first chapter. That should have been the first thing I've done, is that I had no intentions of putting any real semblance of science into the story. Yeah. No, never let facts get in the way of a good tale. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what's this? This tale needs all these kind of facts, but then it won't be awesome? Nah, screw it, let's just make it funny.
No, I do think that the better understanding you have of a concept or process, it helps lend more depth and breadth to the story. It could help you come up with new ideas. So whenever you don't understand something, I would actually really recommend do a little research on it, because you'd be surprised with what you'd find. Sometimes there are little bitty space facts I sprinkle in there to add a little bit more color to the rest of the story. For example, the last chapter, super spoilers, Anon goes back to the star that Celestia made, and as he enters closer to it, he starts to hear bells. And on certain wavelengths, I believe stars do give out a sound similar to bells. And I thought, wow, that sounds really cool. I'm totally going to put that in the story. Which, of course, I didn't know before, and if I didn't know that.
He's officially become more entertaining than my science class.
Oh, yay.
Good job, Mike.
That's why I'm here. Well, anyhow, the idea of entropy, super boiled down, super casual, is that eventually, with every action that someone takes, say lighting a match or throwing a basketball, uses a small amount of energy in the universe, and that energy uses up heat, and there's only a finite amount of it in existence, so eventually it'll all be used up, meaning there'll be no more heat, no more energy, no more, I guess, processes or reactions can be performed. So it's all just going to come to a great big frozen standstill. I'm pretty sure that's 99% wrong, but for the purposes of the story, that's what entropy means.
Sounds really
I encourage
cool.
anyone to go look up something on like Bill Nye or
Bill Nye the Science.
what's the other guy? What's the other?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't even have to say his name, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm sure he can offer a much more valid interpretation than me.
Hey, dude that nobody knows the name of was really cool. What's entropy? Well, sir, let me explain to you.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong, but
Neil deGrasse. Neil
Oh my
deGrasse.
God, I love that guy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think he was a boxer or something. Previously.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a boxer.
Yeah.
He's science.
Yeah, the boxer who keeps getting smashed in the face is apparently one of the smartest guys. So if you guys want to be smart, remember, go to a boxing ring and get beat on until you bleed and bloody.
Did you know that Einstein couldn't speak, and his teachers thought he was never going to get very far in life? So, there you
have
go.
to remember,
Inspiration.
the insane people are the best people. Oddly enough. Anyway, do you consider yourself a brony, Jazz?
Oh, that's a trick question. I've never actually called myself a brony. I've called myself much more derogative terms that I can't say right now because this is an allegedly PG interview. So anyhow, I do like the show. I like the characters. I like the mythology of it. I like how adaptable the mythology of the show is, which I think is one of the main draws to the show, and certainly why you see the kind of breadth and dynamic play that a lot of fans of the show can bring to their artwork and stories, because I cannot really think of any other fictional setting that doesn't meld with the MLP verse. For example, one of my favorite fanfics that was also an AiE story was it was a Warhammer 40k crossover. And at first, when you first hear about it, you think, oh no, that's not going to work out, and all that, in the grim darkness of the future, there is only war, and you think, no, it's not going to work. And then you read it and you think, oh wow.
This works too well.
This works too well. Suspiciously well.
Yeah, giant soldiers marching in with swords and guns versus happy little ponies. You don't think that works well, but wow.
Yeah. The entire setting is just plug and play. Do what you want with it.
Yeah. It's actually really impressive how well they do this stuff. what inspired you to do writing? Was just a hobby, or?
Pretty much like I said, that weekend I spent in San Antonio, I was sitting there on my phone, browsing the thread, reading the things, and I thought, I can do this.
Did you do writing before MLB?
I've done some writing, nothing significant. I know, I've written one or two fan fiction before. There is one Metroid fan fiction floating out there on the internet that will be my shame until the day that I die.
If you guys can find that story, please link it to me.
It's a treasure hunt, because I'm not going to.
Yeah, it can be just a funny thing. People in the comments be like, wow, this is a story. Let's find.
People comment on your videos?
Wow. Yeah, every now and then. Not very often, but I am decently popular here. Sort of.
Could have fooled me.
So you don't write very much, besides MLB stories?
That is not quite true in recent times, before the whole AiE started. I wrote, but it wasn't any fiction. It was, more like things of just, personal reviews, but nothing long form. That's for sure. Oh boy, that's for sure.
I have anything that was, big?
No.
Oh.
If you told me, when I first started the first EOU chapter, if you told me how long it would have been, I would have laughed, and then I would have started to cry.
Explain to us your thought process on that.
I want to say, oh gosh, how long? I want to say, I checked the word count, it was at 93K or something like that.
Jesus!
Yes, so,
Well, hon, think
right?
about it
That's
this way.
said.
The longest fanfiction I have ever read was by Navarone, who has a 1.7 million word count.
Oh, Nav.
And he still isn't done.
That lunatic.
It's a good story. It's
Holy.
It's a couple Lord of the Ring trilogies that he's got under his belt.
Yeah.
Oh my.
130 chapters. Mind you, Wendy, I have read up to chapter 90, I think. Every chapter up to chapter 90 twice.
Y'all are fucking insane.
Thank you.
If anyone ever asks, I would decline the opportunity to write a 1 million word story.
What if you got...
Why?
What if you got $1,000 for every 1,000 words you wrote?
1,000 a word? That's a good question. I don't know. I know some professional authors get paid up to... Well, they can be paid more than $1 a word, but those are some pros. But as for me, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll take that rate.
That'd be very interesting.
Why would you not do a story with that many words without bribery?
Why would I not write a 1 million word story?
Yeah.
Without bribery?
Bribery.
If it was a series of stories, say if I was writing like a 4-book series, and, that's just the nature of the beast. But if it's one story that's 1 million long, oh boy.
Who would read that?
That's pumping out That's pumping out a couple of, more than a few, War and Peace. Going all Dostoevsky in here, jeez. That requires a lot of planning and balance, very, very delicate balance. I think that the longer story is, the harder it becomes to keep this plate spinning in the air. And if everything comes crashing down, then you're going to be in big, big trouble.
It builds up and builds up, but I feel like Navarone's story, you just keep building up Eventually, someone's going to take a tiny little hammer and hit the very bottom of your story, and whee! You're dead.
Oh, Nav. You absolute lunatic. More power to you.
Eventually, I will interview him. What do you think of the fandom so far?
The fandom? Oh. I like how it, sort of comes and goes like the tide. Just when you think, okay, it seems to be stabilizing, it just sort of, erupts.
Switches up and smacks you in the face.
Yeah. Comes back and forth like, oh, there's always going to be someone making music or remixes. Always going to be someone, writing some story or other. Someone's making some piece of fan art.
Yeah. It seems like, in the fandom, like, everybody keeps going back and forth between this fandom sucks and this fandom is the greatest thing that's ever happened to mankind.
That's something I like.
It's basically just throwing a train onto a roller coaster track. It has its ups and downs, but it's always going to have its banks and loops.
Yeah.
And it's never not interesting to look at.
It's a train on a roller coaster. When would it be? Do you have any regrets?
Any regrets?
Mm-hmm.
As for me having regrets, I don't know. I know that some other people would very much wish that I would finish writing Sky's the Limit and Monkey Business. So if I have any regrets, it's not making those people happy.
Well, you should get on that.
I still get crap about it every now and again.
But you should get on that, then.
I should. One day, maybe. Maybe.
If you had turned into a pony of your own making and or choice, what would you turn into and do in Equestria?
I would turn into a shark and hang out in the water all day.
Well...
I'm supposed to be sewing and you're making me stab myself.
That was the most interesting response I've heard up to date. That was fun.
That one will always be my favorite.
It's like, why not? What's your favorite pony? Sharks.
Why? 'Cause they're sharks.
Because sharks, of course. Why not?
Sharks like biting things.
Kinky.
Yeah, they do.
Would you be interested in meeting the VAs in the show?
I would actually. You reminded me of very, very. Oh boy, this is a story I'm about to tell you. Okay, a few years back there was a convention. It was just a general science fiction comic convention going on, and I thought, oh hey, that's pretty close to me. That sounds like fun. I'll go hang out there for the day. And I looked up the guests to see who was going to be there. And, they had, some cool people, of course, folks from Star Trek, had Radagast from Lord of the Rings, and I thought, oh, that's neat. And, what's this? John Delancey. And I thought, oh,
Oh dear.
So yeah, I thought I can't waste this opportunity, of course, and so I draw like a little portrait of him. He was doing a narration from The Raven for him to sign because I thought I'm sure he gets a lot of Discord stuff, so I'll just draw something else. So he'll be like, "Oh man, cool! Someone knows me from something not Star Trek or MLP." And so he had a little conference discussion thing where he talked about the stuff he worked on. Fans asked him questions. It was all good stuff. And after that, he took went off to go take autographs and take pictures and things. I thought, okay, this is going to be it. And so I stand in line, I go up there. He signs my picture. He likes it. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool. So you liked the video, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it was great." Butter him up a little bit. So he signs the picture. And then I ask, "Excuse me, Mr. Delancey, I'm part of this writing group. Would you mind giving a shout out?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. What's it called?" I say, "It's AiE." And so I get my camera out, I record him. And he's like, "AiE? Question mark, question mark." I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Keep writing." And then I turn the camera off and I run out the room, trying extremely hard not to spill spaghetti. And then I run outside the building and I'm just laughing. Because, oh boy. So I take the video, I post it in the thread one day, and everyone in there just loses their minds. One person actually thought that it was going to be the end of the journal because Delancey was going to find out and he'd shut us all down. Which probably would have been for the best, but oh well. So to answer your question, yes, I would like to meet the VAs. I already met one, and if I could get at least 2 more, I think I would get some kind of IRL Xbox achievement for it.
What's this? This achievement for meeting every single one of the VA's MLP? I will do it.
Congratulations, you earn a free backpack pin.
The achievement, you are noobs.
The achievement, Stalker.
The achievement, the Master.
Gotta catch 'em all.
What gave you a name for your, what gave you the idea for your writer name, Jazzteeth?
Okay, this is a really dumb story, but, okay. Back when Mass Effect 3 was coming out, and they revealed some of the new characters, one of them was named, oh god, what's his name? Vega something.
Yeah, Vega.
James Vega, yeah. And this guy, he looks like, he looked like a pretty generic space marine.
He looks like he could bench press a 500-pound weight.
Yeah, that was the joke. Everyone just started calling him these names, like Max Hardfist, Big McLarge Huge, Jeff Beefcake. And so that was a running joke for a good long time until some enterprising person out there just made a random generator website of names like that. And so I click on the site and it's giving me stuff like Jack Hardthrust, I don't know, Steel Mash Teeth. And I'm clicking on it and I'm like, hey, I kind of like that J starting teeth sound. Because I got something with the last name Teeth, something with the first name J. But it sounded too stupid, so I'm like, I'm going to make this even dumber. So I just made the first name Jazz and I kept the teeth and I just mashed the two together. And I thought, yeah, this is good.
This is going to bring all the ladies home.
This is gonna make me popular. People are gonna think I'm totally cool with this. Oh yeah, it's gonna be so great. Oh my god. Oh, ponies. Oh. Well. And once again, it all just went downhill from there.
I think it went downhill the moment that you looked at the AiE stuff. But on the plus side, you got out EOU, so you're cool by my books.
Yeah. On the plus side, I got at least one full story out of the deal.
Yeah. It's not too long, but it's pretty damn good.
I don't know, I think it's plenty freaking long.
Yeah, it's plenty good. The last question I have for you, is if you could create your own planet with its own species, what would both of them look like?
My own planet. That's a good question. It would have lots of Italian restaurants. lots of outdoor porches, and the weather would never reach above 75 degrees.
What will the inhabitants of that planet be?
Sharks.
You would have a bunch of sharks in Italian restaurants.
Yeah. And have the alien from Alien. Yeah, that'd be good. Pretty much every horror movie monster you can think of, but just that'd be good enough for me. I'll be happy. Like, what's that, the thing? Yeah.
It's nice.
Just put a nice wig on it. It can come too. We'll have bow-tie pasta. And garlic bread.
Ooh, garlic bread's nice.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining me, Jazz. This was very, very nice. Right?
Well, thank you for inviting me. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was great.
So, if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps a lot. And go check out Jazzteeth's page thing, which will be in the description below. His stories are interesting and weird, and they will make your science class seem stupid.
No, they won't. Stay in school, please.
For the love that is unholy, stay in the school. But not for 17 years, because that's just overdoing it, man.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah, thank you, Jazz. And, as always, we shall see you on the next video. Auf Wiedersehen!
Stay beautiful, people.